Hey guys, Bird Yu-Gi-Oh here. So I'm finally getting around to doing my Chaos Lightsworn deck that quite a few of you have been excited for and wanting to see. So here it is finally. Really good deck. This is obviously more of a budget version. There are just a handful of expensive cards, but I feel they're necessary. I'll kind of explain those. If you have any questions, as far as replacements for some certain cards that you might not have, just message me down in the comments and I'll try to get back to you. So yeah, we'll get right into it. With actually the pretty much the cheapest part of the deck is the Lightsworn engine, but it's also, I feel, pretty much the best part. You have Judgment Dragon, which in this version you're milling so much and you're able to get so many cards to the grave that this is just a free level 8 monster on board, and then you can pay 1,000 life points and destroy all other cards on the field. So he's pretty good. And honestly, I just don't quite feel comfortable playing at least a Lightsworn deck. This is more Lightsworn than Chaos without Judgment Dragon. He's too good, too free. You just need 4 different Lightsworn monsters in your grave. Play 3 Raiden. He's a really good normal summon. He's a level 4 tuner. He's a warrior. Perfect. Basically, you just send the top 2 cards of your deck to the graveyard. If any Lightsworn monsters were sent, he gains 200 attack. And then during the end phase, you'll send the top 2 cards of your deck to the graveyard. Very good. And 3 Wolf. He is just free. That's all he is. Basically, when he is sent from the deck to the graveyard, you just special summon him. He's a level 4, 2100 attack. Perfect. And then I also still play 3 Lumina. I still really like her effect. You can discard 1 card, then target a level 4 lower Lightsworn and special summon it. And then during your end phases, you'll send 3 cards from the top of your deck to the graveyard. She's level 3, that's the only knock on her, but still very good for just getting monsters on board for link summoning. She's very good for that. And then the last of the Lightsworns, 2 Felice. I would never play her at 1. Too good. She's again a level 4 tuner. Has to be sent to the graveyard by a monster effect, and then you can special summon her for free. So off of like Curious, and that's probably the best way to do it. The Lightsworn Dominion. And then really cool effect, you can tribute this card, target 1 monster your opponent controls, destroy it, then you send the top 3 cards of your deck to the graveyard. So just a lot of really cool effects with her. So that's Lightsworn engine there. For the Chaos engine, we're playing 2 Chaos Valkyria, mostly because she's a level 4 and just super free to get out. All you have to do is just banish a light or a dark monster, special summon her. If she's banished, you can send any light or dark monster from your deck to the graveyard. You can't activate their effects that turn, but it's just a free monster to the grave. So yeah, really good card. And then here's one of the more expensive cards, just 1 Chaos Creator. You have a way of easily getting to that card with a card in our extra deck I'll get to. But this is another level 8. You just special summon it from your hand by banishing a light and a dark. And if you control this card that was special summoned from the hand, target 3 banished monsters with different names, special summon 1 of them, and then place the rest on the bottom of the deck. So it's just a really, really good effect there. Because you can banish, fairly easily with this deck. So getting 1 of those, just a free summon, it's really a really good card. I would strongly recommend it. It's not necessary. I mean, this is a 50 card deck and a 1 of that you pretty much can only summon from your hand. So it's debatable. You don't have to play it, but it's really good. And then we play 2 Chaos Dragon Levianeer. So this got a reprint, obviously. So that is why we are playing him. Now this one, you can special summon from your hand by banishing a light and or a dark monsters, and then you get different effects. If they're 2 lights, you'll be able to special summon a monster from your graveyard. Only darks, shuffle 1 random card from your opponent's hand into the deck, and then both light and dark, you can destroy up to 2 cards on the field. So just 3 really good effects, and it's another level 8 again. And then we are playing 1 black dragon and 1 white dragon. They're just free, so free summons again, free level 4s. That's kind of the name of this deck, is just free summons. You get a lot of them. It's of course dependent on the mill and your hand, obviously, but you have a lot of options with this deck. And then I'm still playing the 1 Black Luster Soldier. Again, we have ways of getting to all of these cards, because none of them can be normal summoned, so you can search them off of Chaos Space, so they're all basically searchable. And then we are also playing 2 Gizmek Orochi. If this card is in your hand or graveyard, banish 8 cards from the top of your deck face down, special summon it. And again, it's just another free level 8, another free beater. It's everything you need in this kind of deck. And so that's the Chaos Engine that we're playing. Let me move these up, make room for our Danger Engine. So the most important ones, we're playing 2 Mothman and 2 Chupacabra. They're the most important. Let me move these up so there's no glare, because they're, again, level 4. This deck kind of wants to turbo out Minerva, and Dangers are good for draw power and just getting free monsters on board. So those are the most important, but I also still play 1 Jackalope, 1 Sukunoko, and 1 Nessie. Again, these are not necessary. I feel these are more necessary. So if you don't have these or don't want to get them, you can just play 3 and 3 of Chupacabra and Mothman. So up to you, or any other ones. These are just basically free monsters on board and free draw power, basically, is what they are. And then the last little engine that we're playing is the Performage engine. So we got 1 Damage Juggler, 1 Hat Tricker, and 1 Trick Clown. It's kind of synonymous with being in a Lightsworn deck, and they're just very good. Again, just more free level 4s is basically what you're getting out of this. So really nice to have. That is all of our monsters. Quite a bit. Doesn't really matter too much because you discard a lot and special summon a lot from the grave. So, and then for the spells, the main reason for playing Lightsworns is to get their amazing spell cards, to be honest. Charge the Light Brigade, send 3 cards from the top of your deck to the graveyard, and that's cost, so you'll pretty much always get that effect off. And then you'll also be able to add a level 4 lower Lightsworn from your deck to your hand. Amazing card. And then also 3 Solar Recharge. Drawing both of these is amazing, because this one, discard a Lightsworn, draw 2 cards, then send the top 2 cards of your deck to the graveyard. So everything you absolutely need. Really good. And then the next best card in the deck is by far 3 Chaos Space. It again is just another card that does everything you need it to. You're just going to send a light or dark monster from your hand to the graveyard, add any light or dark monster that cannot be normal summoned to your hand with a level from 4 to 8, and with a different attribute from the monster you sent to the graveyard. Then you can also banish this from the graveyard, target one of your banished light or dark monsters that cannot be normal summoned, place it on the bottom of the card, or bottom of the deck, and draw a card. So just really good. Draw power, searching any light or dark that cannot be normal summoned. So basically your Chaos Engine. Really good card. You don't have to play it at 3 if you're worried about that. You can definitely play it at 2, but obviously for seeing it as much as possible, 3 is preferred. And then my last 3 of is Pot of Avarice. In this deck, This is live first turn, probably 80% of the time. And after that, it's just free cards. So just target 5 monsters in your grave, shuffle them in the deck, draw 2. Really good. And then our one-ofs, which obviously you don't see as often because this is a mill deck and it's 50 cards. But reasoning, you have a lot of different levels. So it's a free summon, Foolish Burial, send whatever you need to the grave. Monster Reborn, you're always going to have a target in the grave, 98% of the time. And then a Called by the Grave. You have a lot of searching and drawing, so this is nice to have. And that is it for the main deck. For the extra, the most important one, again, is Minerva. You make her with any 2 level 4s. Detach 1, send the top 3 cards of your deck to the graveyard. Depending on how many Lightsworns you mill, you'll be able to draw for each one that you milled. So she could potentially draw you, 2 or 3 cards. Usually it's 1 or 2, but very, very good. And then if this card is destroyed by an opponent's card effect, send the top 3 cards of your deck to the graveyard, and then you'll destroy cards on the field up to the number of Lightsworns that you just milled. But mostly, you're just using her. 3 free cards to the grave is what you're using her for. Dugaris, another super easy one to make. And he can potentially, fix your hand, get you another extender to board. So really good card. Then our rank 8 is Hope Harbinger. Obviously, with all those free level 8s that you can special summon out, this card is free. So you'll make it very often on your first turn. And then our synchros, so our level 7 is Michael. Mostly use him to get a light dragon type, and also you can pay 1,000 life points, target a card on the field, and banish it. So it's a nice way of getting rid of problematic cards. Our other 7 is Dawn Dragster, for just getting a free spell trap negate on board. And I would argue maybe the most important card as far as synchros go is Chaos Ruler. He's also the most expensive, but I think it's warranted with how good he is. When he's synchro summoned, you'll be able to excavate the top 5 cards of your deck. And if you do, you add 1 excavated light or dark monster, anyone, and then send the remaining to the graveyard. And then when he's in the graveyard, you can banish a light and 1 dark from your hand and or graveyard and special summon him again for free. So you're milling 5 with him and adding any of those excavated that you just milled to your hand, light or dark. Very good. And then also playing 1 Borreload Savage. Most of the time I find I'm going into Chaos Ruler because he's so good. But Borreload is obviously very good. Got a reprint. So you should be able to pick it up for $5-6. On to the links. Curious is, again, probably one of the more important ones. You just have to make her with 3 monsters with the same attribute, but different types. So that's why, Michael comes up every now and then. Or heck, even Dawn Dragster if you just want a light machine. But you make her, and then when she's link summoned, you can send any card from your deck to the graveyard. And then if a card is sent from the deck to the graveyard, you send the top 3 cards from your deck to the graveyard. So basically send any card and then mill 3. Really good for this deck. And then IP Masquerena, super easy to make and really nice for interruption. Nightmare Phoenix, get rid of a spell and trap. Unicorn, usually you're making it on your opponent's turn with IP Masquerena, so that's really nice. And then our Link 4s, which are fairly easy to make. We got Appaloosa, just for those really nice monster effect negates. And again, a reprint for her, so a lot cheaper. A Boral Sword, easy OTKs with him, and especially with this deck, you can get a lot of, high attack power monsters on board. And again, another reprint, super cheap. And then the last card is Saryuja. Last but not least, because this card will help fix your hand a lot and just get you way more stuff on board. You'll be able to draw 4, place 3 from your hand on the bottom of the deck, and then just special summon any monster from your hand. So really good card. Yeah, that's the deck, guys. This is, I would argue, an essential one, but obviously, if you don't have it or don't want to spend I think it's about $15. There's definitely other options you could do. You can make a Psyframe Lord Omega, just for a nice, rip a card out of your opponent's hand. But yeah, he's really good with, the whole Chaos engine and everything. But yeah, this deck is super good. It can build some crazy boards. It can break a lot of boards super easily. And so yeah, I can OTK very easily, put up a lot of negates, and it's just a really good, really fun deck. Hope you guys like it. Comment down below any questions you might have or suggestions. Always looking for those. And we'll catch you on the next one.